Right, we're looking at example 6 now. Okay, and we want to shade the region on the Argand plane representing our inequality here. There's a couple of things to notice when we look at this, is that first of all our arg has a capital A, which means that we're looking at the principal argument, which remember means that the domain is between negative pi and pi. Okay, so it's in this set of values for theta. The next thing to notice is that it's not extending from the origin, but a translation, okay, of 1 unit left and 1 unit down. Okay, and our angle is pi on 4. So we're going to need to sketch here. We'll get our Argand plane, so our imaginary axis and our real axis, and we know that its position, or at least if we just do a little quick sketch from the origin, just ignoring our translation, pi on 4 goes off at 45 degrees. Okay, but it's translated 1 unit to the left and 1 unit down, so 1 unit to the left there at -1 and 1 unit down here at -1, so that's going to be our starting point there. Okay, so we're going to actually go off it, so because it's 1 across 1 down, we know that it's going to be on the same angle. It's going to pass through the same points up here. It's just shifted down. Alright, so that's our position there. This is where we need to consider our range of values. Okay, normally if it was just an argument, the principal argument of z being greater than or equal to pi on 4, then we would need to go on this side of our angle, but we'd come to a stop here at this point here, because that's where pi units is. But because we're translated down and to the left, we need to draw also a line across in that direction. Okay, parallel with the real axis. And being greater than or equal to pi on 4 means our where we shade is at angles greater than that angle there. So we're looking at shading these. Okay, so all this area in here is shaded. Alright, so what we really ought to do, we might just put a dotted line here just to indicate our angle, which is pi on 4, and we've got our shaded there. It's equal to, so it includes our line, which means it's solid, and we've got our shaded area there, so that's good. This is going to be solid as well, because the domain for the principal argument is negative pi less than theta, less than or equal to pi. So being less than or equal to pi means that this line here is actually included, okay, in our region. Okay, I hope that's clear. All right, let's have a look at our next one. Okay, what we're looking with this example is that we're shading the region for this region and this region. So this and is a bit like our, well, it's exactly the same actually, our intersection symbol. The intersection symbol just means and. So we're looking at the region that corresponds to both of these at the same time. Now remember, with the regions that are defined by the real numbers, that's going to be a vertical line, and those that correspond to just the imaginary parts, that's going to be a horizontal line. Okay, so we need to draw a set of axes, which we now have here. Now consider this here, this is the real part of z minus 1 plus 5i, which means that this plus 5i, this imaginary part, is irrelevant. So with the real part, then it means our vertical line, which normally would pass through -2, is translated 1 unit to the right. Okay, so from -1, -2, plus 1 to the right means it's at -1. Okay, so that's our vertical line. Now it's less than or equal to, which means we're going to draw a solid line. It's meant to pass through there at -1. We'll presume that it does. And then let's consider this other one here, the imaginary part here, which is a horizontal line, normally passing through 2.5, but the real part here is irrelevant, so we're just looking at how this plus I affects it. It means it's going to translate 1 unit down, so instead of being a horizontal line through 2.5, it'll be a horizontal line through 1.5. So if that's 1 and that's 2, then it's going to pass through here at 2.5. Now, it's less than or equal to -2 for this one here, so we're going to be shaded on the left hand side, and it's greater than 2.5 on this one, so it's going to be above, so we're looking at this region in here. Okay, so we'll leave it at that for those two examples, and then we'll go to another video for these.